Hi everyone, this is Shui Chen from Holistic Academy. Today's lecture is about yin and yang lifestyle and the yin and yang of our therapies and foods. I know a lot of people are not, even they are the health practitioners, they do not understand yin and yang. They have such resistance to understanding it. And I kind of, over the years, I was wondering if we could learn about acidity and the alkaline between the 0 to 14 and under 7 is acidic and above 7 is alkaline, then we should be able to learn yin and yang. Yin is darkness. You may have to take some notes. Yin is darkness. Let's just think about basement. We think about the night, okay, the night. And yang is Y-A-N-G, but the pronunciation should be Y-O-N-G. Y-O-N-G was actually the sun. So that means brightness and darkness. It also means that sunflowers and those hepatites, and they are living in the daylight rather than the night crawlers. They are active at night. So that those are yin. Now, let me ask you a question. What about mushrooms? There are some mushrooms grow in the sun, but most mushrooms that we know that are in the darkness. And are they yin or are they yang? You think it's yin or yang? Okay, why don't you, if you can, if it's not too much trouble, you can enter in the chat so I can see your reply. And I'm gonna pop these questions along the way. If people don't understand, okay. So mushroom that like to live in the darkness, like they grow under the tree, they're in, just like the basement. However, for us to fall asleep at night, our body needs to have the yin energy, which is helping us to get tired and help us to slow down the metabolism, help us to gradually go into the sleep. But when the sun rises, is yang rising, because the sun is rising and we're supposed to rise with the nature. We rise with the sun, we rest with the sun. When the sun sets, the yin is very strong in energy. That's when people, the cortisol, the hormones also decrease in secretion. So people feel more parasympathetic and they will be able to rest. But during the day, when about 6 o'clock, 4 or 5 o'clock, and the sun is getting ready to rise, that our yang energy also rise in nature, in where you are. Which means that if today I'm teaching 24 hours, it's actually we'll have a 12-hour difference. I'm on the other side of the earth. That what's sunny to you may not be sunny for me. Therefore, that where you are is where your yin and yang is. This is very important, because when the sun rising for you, it brings the yang energy for you. But if I'm living on the other side of the earth, that is yin energy for me, because this yang is the furthest away from me. How do we actually think about yin and yang in the terms of a year? That there's yin and yang seasons in the springtime, that heat is coming and the longer days is coming. So we say springtime, the yang is rising. And then it comes summertime, that the heat is the most. And that's the time the yang is the highest. The yang energy, positive energy, is the highest. We need to utilize this energy by being in the sun a lot. This including not to use so much air conditioning. This is one thing I know most of you may have heard this only the first time, but I need to communicate this to you, that when the spring comes, that all the plants got the signal that they are about to have new sprouting. They start to grow, the little leaves is about to bud, and everything's awakening. from Earth. And even though you have a perennials, and the perennial, they don't look like they're dead over the winter, because some of the perennials to you guys back in tropical, where I came from, they are perennials. But even those plants, they don't look dead. Their metabolism rate changed. So when spring comes, that it actually knows that I'm going to grow, my metabolism rate is going to be higher. I'm going to actively grow my leaves and extend it, my volume and start to have hormonal changes, so I will have flower. So all these things kicked in spring. And later on, when we're going to summer, that the intense heat is allowing the earth, including us, to detoxify. With the heat, it's like the infrared sauna. Our body at this moment, if possible, that you do not use air conditioning. You need to actually in one with nature by not having air conditioning. Even though you may feel it's uncomfortable, but being in heat and sweating and signaling the body, this is time to detoxify. When the fall comes, that occasionally we will have very strong heat, but that was just leftover of the summer. And then we're gradually going into the season that we're preparing for hibernation. This is when the leaves, the trees, some of the trees will turn yellow first before other trees. It's all about the health condition of those trees. I am now using the trees as a metaphor about human. So why do the leaves turn yellow in the fall? It is the tree is getting the signal that I am going to, based on the daytime changes, the plants know that we will eventually hitting the shortest day of the season. So we now have to conserve our energy. What it does is, instead of like a summertime, you evaporate, sending your energy out, that it started turning that direction to coming back in, very interestingly. So the nutrition at the tip of every branches, the leaves is now changing colors by bringing all the residual, the existing nutrition from the tip of their branches and coming down to the core and then into the root. That's why the leaves are changing colors, because all the nutrition is returning back to the home base. So the trees that is the healthiest usually do this process later. They're still grabbing the sunlight. They're still maximizing their ability to generate more nutrition, when other plants are already started to conserve their energy and they turn color. The whole point is to bring every bit of energy, come back to the trunk, and then send it down to the roots. So that's what we need to do in the fall. Instead of going out so much and staying out late so much, we need to start to sleep early. But you may not have to get up so early. You can sleep slightly later, but you do need to start to change your schedule to the daytime. When winter comes, that we will need to get up later. Dr. Wilson always say get up at 6:30 or something and start coffee enema at 7 o'clock. So he has a set schedule. But to be in one with nature is not to take early morning classes in this winter. So I try not to schedule the 8 o'clock, schedule preferably 9 and 10 o'clock. And if you could, even for half an hour later, just get up slightly later and go to bed slightly earlier. That's being one with nature. Now I'm going to go through spring. Again, I'm going to tell you the implications, the specific things you need to do. At the springtime, everybody is waking up because now it's time to mate. Okay, you see the birds are chirping and everything is getting together and trying to make babies. And even though we may not at the age of making babies, we are at the age of still generating new cells. This is the time we want to actually getting ready to spout. For every part of our cells now need energy to do growth. The focus of spring is growth. And well, we need the kind of food that we need for the springtime. Now I want you to bring out our food chart. The food chart. Do you guys have the food chart? I can, however, bring out the food chart.
Show me again what the food chart is.
You guys can talk among yourself, asking about the food chart and everything when I'm bringing up, so we can all look at it.
Jennifer, I couldn't see your food chart. Can you hold it up higher, please?
I don't think I have the food chart. I was just trying to see which one is the food chart.
Okay.
Sorry. Unless she meant the water element, you know, the elements in the season.
Oh, okay. So is it this one?
Yes,
I-
Holly has it. Yes, Peggy, you have it.
Okay.
So is it this one? Yours
Yeah.
is blurry. I can't
Oh, 'cause
see.
I'm
Yeah,
still
I
looking.
see, and I know why, because I blurred the background. So I'll unblur it.
Nothing to show.
Oh, no, everything changed. Oh, you just brought up a different screen?
Yes.
Okay,
You have to.
I thought I did. I broke it or something.
Do you guys see that my chart right now?
It, not
No.
yet, it's blank. It says there's nothing to show here.
Okay. All
It
right.
says we're viewing your screen.
New share. I got it. You see that
Yay.
right now?
Yep.
Okay, so now I'm gonna take you through the 4 seasons based on this chart. So when it comes to spring, that we're at the wood element. It says spring, doesn't it? Okay, so this is the season that we will focusing on the greens and the food that these color coordination like green and blue, I wrote green and blue, that is a general, very general category, because there are things look a little bit green. For example, scallion is green and some white, but however, that's also listed under the white, but mainly greens. So I'm going to talk about the springtime with the green. That is great for the liver. And we all know the liver reflects our temperament, like the anger, and also is good. So what you see, the organ that's outside of the liver that shows liver is inside, but our eyes reflect our liver health. And then the gallbladder. So springtime is, so in our, you know how important that the liver is. Liver is actually biochemistry. In biochemistry, liver is the one who master the nutrition distribution, analyze nutrition, and take out the toxicities and make the oil soluble into water soluble, so the kidney can process and the liver can do the oil base and all that stuff. So the liver is one of the very important organ in our body. And when the 4 seasons starts at spring, and we need nutrition, so our body calls for nutrition at that time specific for the liver and gallbladder. This is why we start our liver flush at spring, and we don't do it now right now at the northern hemisphere. Right, we don't do that right now, but for New Zealand and Australia, they are starting their spring right now. So springtime for us in Michigan and the northern hemisphere, that we are actually focusing on the health of liver and gallbladder, and we have foods that associated with these, the wood element. But do you guys put in the chat that what you think that the foods may be? I don't see anybody enter anything. You can enter, or if you want to speak, and it's very interesting. You say artichoke. Do you mind if green beans, bot check? Okay. So I'm going to talk about these things that you just put in. Very good, very good. Okay, so I'm going to give you a hint of what they are actually based on our study. Broccolini, very good. Dandelion greens, definitely. So I'm going to tell you under green, under the green, even though it's not green, but I'm going to tell you what kind of foods they are. Sheep milk, the milk, maybe from goats too, but we wrote the sheep milk, the milk from the sheep, and chives. Chives is very young, means very powerful. Actually, chives actually will restore man's sexuality, and that actually put the firm in the womb. And chives is very powerful. And you see chives comes out early in the springtime for that reason. So, but however, yeah, bitter green as well. So chives is a grass. It doesn't really it's not digested well at all. It may come out just like how it was eaten, but you just chop it really small, and then you do a stir fry, or actually you can make it with eggs and in your what's that called? When you do the eggs dish, it's like a omelet. You can put some chives in there. That's very young. And dandelions and the other bitter vegetables and the white mustard seeds, raw ginger. I'm sorry, I made a mistake. I was crossing a line. Let me take back goat milk, chives, dry ginger. That means the ginger slices you have dried, and the green cabbage, and grass-fed butter, onions, chives, and walnut. Okay, these are the ones that are under the green category. And then there's the blue category. It may not be blue, but you all know. Blue corn chips, green cabbage, again, green cabbage, purple cabbage. Purple cabbage is the bluish and with some red, so it's under blue and under red. And scallions, Brussels sprouts, broccolini, and chicken eggs. These are the great food for the wood element that will strengthen the liver qi and gallbladder qi, and it's great for eyes. So it's not like something that you make your eyes, like it's almost like you're working from inside, and then your eyes, the vision will improve. And this is why when people have jaundice, the eyes turn yellow. And also when people have some infections in the liver and some parasitic attack, because the liver also is in charge of filter parasites. There is at the end of the small intestine is taking care of all a lot of, not all, but a lot of nutrition absorption happen in the small intestine. At the end of the small intestine, there is a pathway go right back to liver to transport mainly two things. Number one is nutrition that has been absorbed, and then send back the parasites. So these two things will be sent back to liver to process. And that's when the liver will, sometimes it's not just a liver fluke that we're talking about, like the parasites is already in the liver. Where did they come from? Small intestine will gather those and will send it back to liver for processing, as it was sending nutrition as well. So the liver will have to take care of that. Okay, the springtime that we start to do liver flush. When you do liver flush, you know it's a release. Liver flush is the release because you actually empty out your bile. So liver flush is an in therapy. We call it in therapy. We do it at a young season for a reason, because right now we're cleaning. When you're cleaning, when you do your cleaning, you have to roll up your sleeves, you have to get down to your knees, and you have to do scrub, and wash. So anything that you need to deplete yourself, the precious bile is made of cholesterol. Cholesterol is so precious. Our body made every day so much. 80% of the cholesterol that our body needs every day is made by our own self. Only 20% is from food. Our body collect and make cholesterol every single day. That's so it can make the hormones. For example, vitamin D. Without cholesterol, you cannot make vitamin D. So cholesterol will be used also to make bile. Bile is oil-based detergent in our body. Bile is merged with pancreas enzyme at the beginning of the small intestine. We call it duodenum. It goes in as soon as actually you eat something oily, that your body, your liver and gallbladder and the pancreas saying, we got to get ready because there's some oily food is coming towards our way, and extremely oily will be taken care of by the pancreas enzyme. So all three of them stand by. The gallbladder says, I'm ready, I have a storage of it. And the liver says, okay, so if you don't have enough, I'm going to make you one quickly. So it was trying to make more. Pancreas enzyme standing by. So as soon as the food finish the work by the stomach, it entered small intestine immediately to neutralize the high acidity from the stomach. The food is now injected with the liver and gallbladder, the bile produced from these two places, and not two places, but bile is produced by liver. However, if you have a storage, which means that is supply on demand, immediately the gallbladder's purpose is that I'm ready because I have a little storage of the bile that's actually refilled at night. At a different time, I'm going to teach you how that happened. So the gallbladder is just storage. Therefore, the supply could be called on demand. You'll merge into with the food to neutralize the high acidity from the stomach acid. It will also help to break down the more like a protein and also fat contents of our food. So a lot of times people will feel full. They feel full. They feel the food is in the stomach. It's not really in the stomach anymore. It's actually in the small intestine. And they feel that it sits there for hours. For me, it goes right straight down, because I have a liver and gallbladder, pancreas working for me. And as soon as those things goes in and to break things down, the food is supposed to move smoothly down. So let's go back to talk about liver flush and coffee enema. Whenever you do any of these flush that take away so much bile, it's almost like if you have a savings account, you have money put in there, and you also have some kind of passive income or active income, which is your liver is constantly, once in a while you will feel the bile into the gallbladder. It's almost like we're taking our money from our investment account and putting it in the savings account so we can use the ATM card and pull out some money when we want to get groceries of some sort. So when you deplete that account and you empty your investment account, then you have to now make more money and put it in there for the future use. So whenever we do a flush, coffee enema included, and you do a liver flush, that is like liver transplant. That is an in therapy. Do you guys understand this? If you don't, please raise your hand, and someone has to tell me so I can raise the hand, so I can see the hands. So do you mind if I just carry on unless someone interrupt me so I can stop? Okay, so well, after we release a bunch of the bile and also some of you will see some of the parasites, and some will see some gallstones. Gallstone comes in about 3 different types. One would be the green stones, which is color of the bile. and some will be yellow stones, and they are the color of the cholesterols. But some are white stones. They are just calcified stones. But however, the calcified stones, if you cut it open, you see the inside. If the inside is yellow or if the inside is green, it's a calcified bile stone or a calcified cholesterol stones. But if you cut it through and through, it was just tan color. That means
Shui, you have
those,
a question.
okay, those will be the exact toxins our liver is trying to eliminate all this time, but couldn't. So it was stuck inside the liver. Very interesting. When we do liver flush, why do people say it's a liver gallbladder flush? What liver flush? Are we supposed to just flushing to empty out the gallbladder? That's a very good question, because 20% the cloggage is in the gallbladder. The meanwhile, people talk so much about the gallbladder is congested and need to be removed and all that, but 80% of congestion actually is in your liver. So by doing a liver and gallbladder flush, you exclude, not only just clean out these two places, also pancreas. So it's actually beneficial for all three places. If you cut the tan stone open, you see the inside is not tan. If it's green, it's calcified bile stone. And if it's yellow, it's calcified. Calcified is calcium, is outside. The inside is still yellow, is the very aged, very when these stones are inside of you for a long time, that you have some calcification happening, it may cause this. So the calcified cholesterol stone, you'll see the cholesterol inside. But some people, they have blue stones and different color stones. Those are the heavy metals. If you have a cobalt or something that is blue, and people have blue stone that came out of them. And some of you have very sharp stones, like they say, there's a glass coming out. I swear I have glass coming out when I did the last liver flush. It cuts me all the way through the exit. So anyway, so some of these stones could be, you never, just like kidney stones, it could be jagged edges, but based on the nature of the oil, that is usually very smooth. So it's not like sharp, like a little glass is passing through you. That's usually something else. It's very possible something that you have, but it's on the pathway of eliminating. So after you did coffee enema liver flush, that you need to, those are in therapy. You may feel very drained. And I believe that later we're going to do a sharing that Holly, you can share with people about your liver flush experience and how drained that you feel and what kind of food that you prepare to eat then. In my case, is my body will call for lamb. I always think about a lamb, that I would like to have lamb. And especially sometimes I like to have some curry, which we will go over turmeric in the next season, which is summer. We're going to go there very soon. So after you do a flush with in therapy, you will want to have some young food specifically for the organ that you have just done some maintenance. Very interestingly, doing that. So we're talking about that you're flushing the liver, then all of a sudden you will try to eat something that in this category, some food in this category, because it is the tonic for the liver and gallbladder. So now we go into the summer. Summer, the heat, even though you could be living in a tropical place or you're living in a very cold place, that you will still notice the temperature change. The temperature change, that summer comes, that is encouraging us to sweat. This is when everything that in the summertime, not just us, you can see. One time in the summer, I went to Black Forest in Germany. As I was driving in the mountains, I could see about 3 and 4 o'clock in the afternoon, there will be all these trees, the Black Forest was detoxing. They were detoxing. It will be clouds of, it looked like a cloud, but it's not cloud because the clouds are up there. But on top of the tree, you'll see from the Black Forest, there will be a huge cloud is coming out. Is they're breathing out and their moisture is coming, leaving the black forest. As you're driving, you can see the forest below you, that they are breathing, they're letting out a lot of their things. And so the earth is detoxing in the summer. Those people have a temperature controlled because they want to feel a little better. Their body are very confused. They do not understand, am I supposed to close my pores or open my pores? My body is supposed to open my pores, but now getting in and out of the house and is open, close, open, close. So it's very confused. So we need to send the body the right signal. This is the time that you do your best and to eliminate the toxins through the sweat gland. Study shows that the heavy metal that eliminated through sweat, I'm pointing here, sweat is 20 times the amount of heavy metal. That's when you eliminate through the blood. Okay, now let's look at what are the food, what kind of food that best for the summer. Let's go under the fire element. The fire element says it's hot and bitter. And true red. You can add another color, purple red is also under the true red. Now I'm gonna go over the organs that's most beneficial by the fire element food. They are heart, brain, and pericardium. These three things, they are all involved with the heart and blood circulation. And when we talk about stroke, it's when the heart stop pumping as fast, the brain is not getting enough enough oxygen, and you will have stroke. At the same time, if you have a head trauma, that moment will also incur stroke, and the blockage could be happening right in the head that will block the oxygen from the heart pumping up or to that point, reaching the point. So all in all, I want you to remember this concept is about heart, it's about blood circulation. It's not even just about heart. Heart is only an engine, and brain is needing the blood. And the pericardium is the wrap that's outside of the heart. So let's talk about the heart and pericardium. Heart meridian, pericardium meridian. One day I'm going to teach this, but they are on the hand. In the middle finger is at the pericardium meridian. There are some nursing homes in the United States, they know that their seniors start to have numbness on the middle fingers. That's when they have to be a little careful with this patient's heart medication or issues. And if those patients start to have numbness on the little finger, that is the heart meridian that goes actually little finger past the funny bone and into the here and connect and go into the heart on the left side, but the meridian also happen on the right side. So even though the heart is on the left side, you have heart meridian on the pinky. So then when the pinky is numb, that within 30 seconds, these people need to go to ER and arrive early if possible. Even some of the nursing home, they know that when their seniors start to having issue with their pinky, unusual numbness, this is when they need to immediately go to the ER. So for the heart health that we can eat, the seaweed, walnut, red onions, purple cabbages. Let's go to the next category, is orange red. Orange red is really great, very great for small intestine meridian, and also triple burner meridian. Triple burner meridian is on the back of the arms, and it's almost like the burner. It's like you have 3 kitchens. You have an outdoor kitchen, summer kitchen, something like basically that triple burner. There are 3 burners. It's like you have your stove has 3 burners, and the one is about your lower body. And then the other one is about the middle section. And the last one is above your diaphragm. So when we talk about triple burner, there are actually 2 types of triple burner. When I teach you about meridians and later some other time, then I will tell you about the 3 burners, what they do. Basically, that one will be handling your entire health below your waist. And the middle burner is about mainly your digestion, anything between your hips and your diaphragm. Then what is above is including how you feel in your heart, your lung health, anything above the diaphragm, including the thyroid health in the head, in the eyes, the ears, and all that is the upper burner. And that's in the back of the arms. When you feel there are bumps on the back of the arms, which I check that first of my clients, when you feel little bumps or little red dots or abnormality, that that actually tells your total body toxic load. If your toxic load is good, are you guys feeling your the back of the arm? Feel the skin. Just touch your skin very gently if you feel bumps or rough skin, or if you look at it in the mirror and there were red dots or even white dots or different color, that means that your total body toxic load is not well. So that's one thing I checked. So to improve these things, the heart health, the circulation, the brain, getting enough oxygen, and the small intestine is so important for nutritional absorption, digestion, absorption, and that reflects all the triple burner meridians right here. That is about the fire element. Fire element under orange red includes the turmeric, garlic, dandelion bitter, vegetable, white mustard seed, and raw ginger. So the dandelion bitter is actually listed under the fire element, and the bitterness, the bitter and spicy and the hot like ginger, it is listed under the fire element. Even though that we know that dandelion is also very good, is green, is good for the liver, but category wise is actually under the fire element. But you know, the biggest storage of blood in our body is liver. So what is heart? Heart is only an engine, is pumping the blood. So engine that pumping the blood and the storage that store the blood, they are very close. You can see that they're close, that our body actually plays. Very interesting how we are created to have these things that working together, placed strategically close to each other. Then of course, you know, the brains. The most important thing is actually up on top. And then you have the engine and you have the blood bank, and then you have the breathing. That's actually the lung. We're going to the lung meridian very soon. That the lung meridian is just to infuse the oxygen into the blood so the heart can pump it out, and there's a blood bank is the liver. So this portion is on the upper part of our bodies. We just gone over that. Okay, so then there is the earth element, we call it long summer. Long summer is actually just the later part of the summer as the season is emerging into the fall. The long summer is called earth element. The earth element is not about the planet Earth. It is actually about Saturn. Before the end of today's lecture, I'm going to tell you about the planetary that affect all these elements. So I just want to make sure you know the earth element is not about Earth. Earth element is actually were signaled by the planet Saturn. The Saturn at different time of the day will transmit astral energy to our mind, our body, and just start what it's supposed to do. Later, we're going to go through the chart. So let's just talk about the before let's go to Earth. That's just one more thing I want to say about hot and bitter, the summer. That cayenne pepper is is under the fire element. Cayenne pepper, usually we don't use nightshades, and pepper being a nightshade, that we don't really use the nightshade, except cayenne pepper has a lot of medicinal contribution to the heart health. For example, that if people has a clot that if you can quickly take a few capsules of cayenne pepper, it will unclog. So is turmeric. Turmeric, so this fire element is so powerful in a way that there's any blockage like clots, or even though there are some kind of things very like something is, it's like if you have something that's blocking it, like it could be just pressing on that the body knew it right away. And if you have cayenne pepper at that time, if you have a turmeric, it will go in, break it down. So in a way, I want you to think about this, that fire element is something supposed to be very young, but it breaks things down. Well, when I talk about wood element earlier about springtime, all the green vegetable that we eat and the green blue vegetables that we eat, that it builds it up. I want to think again. We're building up the strength for the liver and gallbladder. But the next season after spring in summer, I'm talking about all this very hot element that get the blood moving, and even the color of the food builds the blood. It's red food and orange food. But however, that it doesn't just build the blood, it actually encourages circulation. But then if there's a blockage, it hack it down. It's very interesting that when you have a bleeding, you put cayenne pepper on top, you will think that it hurts. But what it does is it immediately will coagulate, saying, stop the bleeding. So the most powerful things that stimulate the blood flow also will have the ability to hack down that's the blockage. And then when it shouldn't be leaving our body is losing so much blood, you will coagulate it, saying stop losing it. So that's what fire element is. So let's go into the long summer. That is just at the end of the summer. That's earth element. Now that you can see the orange food, the deep yellow, under deep yellow, I want you to write orange as well. And you will have some light yellow food. And I'd rather we think about zucchini and all that stuff. But however, you know that in nutritional balance science, the food that I read to you is actually nutritional dense food that we use in nutritional balance science, which is basically similar foods that we use for cancer patients. Of course, sometimes when we look at zucchini and look at squash, they're just fun to have, shish kebab, or even when I do stir fry, I add some of those in there, but those are the side, the supporting actor and actresses. The main characters are the one I go through with you. They are very high in nutrition. Long summer is at the end of the summer. Thank you for the question. And let's just go through the food. Go through food. The raw ginger under 0, which is the deep yellow and orange. We write raw ginger. Leek. Onions. Onion come in different colors. When I say onions, you know that I'm talking about the yellow onion rather than the red onion will fall under the red category, but the onion here is obviously more yellow. And chicken eggs again, and the raw cow milk or raw cheese, salt, and corn. Obviously, is yellow corn right now, right here. Then we go to the lighter color yellow. The preferred foods are almond, yellow onion, rutabaga. Rutabaga is one of our nutritional balance root vegetable. The white part of the chives, also the white chives. So there are people, they grow the chives, but they put a blanket over it, so it's not green. It will grow without the green color, without developing the green color. Those are the yellow chives that we eat. That's under this category. Lamb, the meat, lamb, and salt is also under here. So let's look at this yellow color. When the babies are younger, we feed them food is more bland kind of color. This is in the chart, you know, is in the middle of the yin and yang. So we have just finished talking about the yang food, which is the fire and the power, and then the green and the red. Now we're going to the yellow. Yellow is in between. It's actually in between. The food is not so yin, not so yang. So in the microbiology form is that neither anabolic or catabolic, is kind of in the middle. So it's easy to digest. Our body will have those enzymes ready just for digestion. That's why when we make baby food, we start in this category. That's what I think, but not the onions and leeks and ginger or anything like that, but more of the yellow mush that we usually have some yellow something that give it to them, but not the strong colors. The strong colors come so much later when it comes to baby's food. And this is the time, the long summers, to get us ready from the fire, as we are going to the longer day of the night, which let's go into the fall right now. Should we take a question right now? Iwanta, do you want to unmute yourself and ask your question? Hello? Yeah, go ahead, please.
Wondering, our spring in Michigan is kind of out of whack. It comes so late and then it's short. So how do we do anything different in considering that?
Yes. Again, when Chinese medicine, we have a moon calendar. We follow the moon calendar, and the moon calendar does start our spring about the first week of March. And although it may still be snow on the ground, and sometimes in April we still have snow, the late snow, but these elements and the seasons is defined by the planetary position. First of all, I want to thank you for the question, because it's a very important question. But however, based on the planetary position, that the day is getting longer starting from a specific day, and our body knows it because the planets, the specific planets, will send out astral energy to us, and we receive it. Our brain is really start to say, I am going to get out of my bed. I'm going to get my tools ready. I'm going to start looking for seeds, and your body will start wakening up. And even though you still see snow outside, that's a very good question. A lot of people say, well, it's in Houston, it's in California, it's still so hot. I don't think I need to stop liver flush. But according to a planetary location, that the shortest day is coming from that certain point on, then we are actually giving our body a time to break. It's not about, this is what happened when the weather is so good, you're out all the time, that you're sweating all the time, you are exerting yourself. You are not having the clock set to say, I am going to start practicing that preservation. The people in the good weather, they tend to do too much and they get older. Actually, they are worn out. When we grew up, we had the period around 10 years old, 11, 12 years old. We all had period, because we came from a tropical, and the tropical is all exerting. Everything is getting out. But once I came to United States, and I realized that people living north, and they don't have period until maybe 12, 13, 14 years old. There is a reason, because you guys held the energy inside. In Michigan, people are very in, because the weather is also in. So we're kind of in how everything inside. We develop later, and then we are more hypothyroidism rather than hyper. We're just the body a little bit puffy and a little bit watery. But if we want to change our body to be less in, less watery, less weak, and less emotional, less empathic, but more firm and draw the boundaries, and then we need to have more young food. And at the same time, I also teach about eat local foods. So we might have to look for some of the foods that we could have in the early seasons. even the farmers market not started to sell vegetables, but when they do start selling, I see chives and I get chives. Chives is a fantastic food to start. It gives so much power for the liver. And if without chives, we can have, let's say, even the wheatgrass. I don't know wheatgrass falls under, but wheatgrass is very good for liver. So I would think that wheatgrass is something that we wanted to start in the spring. And that also signifying that we will start to prepare for liver flush. Thank you for the question. I know it's very hard, but people in the warm weather needs to know when to stop. And people in the cold weather needs to know when to start. So it's all based on planetary location. It's not how you feel, and it's not about the snow or the something like that, what you feel. It's almost about a timing about our metabolic change will occur at a specific time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's go into the in food. The in food, what I'm sharing with you, all these foods are tonic. That means they actually bring the nutrition that is good for our health at a different time of the season and different time of our lives. So basically, that when the fall comes, that a lot of people will be coughing and our skin gets drier and hair start falling. Oh my goodness. I lost so much hair. But handfuls, like as if I had chemotherapy, which I don't have, but I collected so much hair on the ground. But I'm confident that I will be able to grow back new hair in the spring. But it is the phase of our life at this moment, at this season, that our skin gets drier and our hair start to purge the old hair. And we start to purge our lungs. And there's quite a lot of coughing happening on the school bus, a lot of coughing. So so the food in this season will actually help us with a drier skin and also with dry lungs. We call it dry, feel a little dry there. Where I mark underneath the white, here are the foods. Green beans. Green beans is not as green as other plants. The green beans is falling into the in tonic rather than young tonic. Here comes the walnuts again. Ginger, onions, sesame oil, cauliflowers, leaves. Not the cauliflower, but the leaves. Corn silk. Corn silk is very high in selenium. So this is under the white, and it's very good for large intestine. Again, large intestine is unlike small intestine. Large intestine is purging, just like our lungs, coughing, purge. We're now at the season that we want to purge. At the end of all the detoxification happening in the summer and the long summer, now we are cleaning up and getting ready for the winter. So next one is silvery gray, and they're very good for the lungs, lung health. Walnut again, tempura, white cauliflower, cabbage, radish, daikon, white sesame, raw ginger, fish oil. So it's very interesting that I used to teach you pear is underneath here, but because nutrition and science, unless any pear is not always in tonic, but I just want to bring up if people have coughing, constant coughing is almost chronic coughing. If it's not caused by parasites in the lungs, which Dr. Clark, among all her patients that had lung cancers, 100% of them had the lung flukes. So some people had the lung issues could be due to parasites. But if it's just seasonal, you need to look into the parasites, by the way. Okay, if it's not because of that, if that you have somebody had a chronic cough, just because the mucus, a lot of mucus, even maybe at the end of the COVID infection, or you're just trying to clear things out, that there was a remedy using pear. But we do have a talk about fruits is in, so we're trying to, but when it comes to tonic medicinal, that we do use pear for the lung health, that we don't encourage people to go into other elements, which are orange, like orange juice. You don't drink the orange juice. You don't drink any of the red juice, because that is inflammation. You encourage inflammation. And then you right now want to cool down. You want to use pear. Pear has no color. Pear is one of the puree we give the baby when the baby was young, because it's easier to digest. When you bake your pear or just steam it in the soup, look like it's making a soup, but it's not a soup. In France, there is recipe of you cut the pear in half, put some water, and you just steam it. And then they serve that as dessert. But you can, right after you steam it, you can use a little bit of raw honey. Not red honey, raw honey. You just eat that warm. After 7 days, it should help to clear all the mucuses and issues. Not the parasitic issues, because they may like the raw honey or something like that. But this is to help to clear. Clearing is the key for the metal element foods. Pear is example. So in Chinese medicine, they talk about if you have chronic, let's say, chronic cough, they're talking about asthma, but asthma is caused by a scarce roundworm. You have to get that taken care of. But at the end of the COVID, you have some mucus going on, and as you're using frequency therapy to zap, to clear out the blockage at the endings is all clogged up. So as to help the lung to purge, then the pear soup remedy is very good. Okay, just making exception that using fruits only limited time, and that will be the time that use pear is for clearing up your lungs. In our medicine, we also talk about sometimes we use some fungus. The only fungus that we use a lot is shiitake mushroom. And shiitake mushroom, the stems, the mushroom may look black on top, but the stems, people don't know the stems is actually medicinal. The stems is what's medicinal, so you have to cut it really small and eat it. It's not the big mushroom on the top medicinal. It's actually the stem is medicinal, and that is white. Here comes the metal element. Let's talk about the last element, which is the water element. Water element, cold, salty food. Blackish purple is great for bladder. Now we're talking about things that are more hidden, the lower part of the body. The second half of the life is gonna be all about the lower half of the body, because so we have problem going to bathroom, number 1 and number 2, and have to wear the adult diapers, and that depends. And that depends on how much work we do right now to clear ourselves, so we don't have to wear the depends. So bladder health could be addressed by the blackish purple. And here comes the onions again. Now you know how important onion is. Whatever the 16 different type of onions Dr. Wilson likes, that just incorporate. He eats 8 onions, eat 8 types, 7 types of onions every day, different kind of big and small, different color, chop, and steam and eat it. That's, you see, onions and kelp, which supposedly we all have some kelp every day. Seaweed, it could be those sea vegetable that's clear, that's like a more close to the shore, not the deep sea, more close to the shore, but those the contaminates near the shoreline with the factory and everything, so they are more contaminated. So the kelp is a deep sea, all the way from, they go all the way from the floor, sea floor, and they grow about 1 meter a day, which is 3 feet. And we use kelp only from very far away, clean places, maybe even Iceland or something like that. So Endomed Lab is the lab I use for test hair samples, and I am their practitioner because I send the hair samples for them. They're the #1 forensic lab for the hair test in our nation, also worldwide. our federal government forensic lab will benchmark the same hair. If the result of the forensic science lab at the federal level produce the same results as Endomed lab, and the Endomed lab passed the test, which is that this test is performed very regularly. If the result is not identical, they will have to shut down their business. So they check the kelp from the raw material stage to make sure that it doesn't contain a lot of lead and mercury, and then you will make kelp supplement for us. But right now in Asia, in Japan, where we usually get a lot of kelp, Korea, so much mercury has been dumped in the ocean. And as you know, kelp is something that cleans the ocean. So we want to try to get kelp from a cleaner place. But even though they say, but kelp does come with the lead and mercury, all that stuff. But kelp, when you take kelp, you're supposed to hold on to it. When you go through, you're supposed to hold on to that. Basically, you're taking a toxicity with the solution together. So basically, it's 1-to-1. That means that you have the solution that should chelate the toxicity, even though you take it together. That is safer. It's safe compared to no, how do I say that? It's safer than just taking the toxicity on its own, because we're taking a solution with it. But still, we want to choose kelp that is more therapeutic for us and less toxic. That's why we have a very good, you have to trust a lab that have gathered very good material to make kelp. Kelp is critical. I don't talk about supplementing other things that much, but kelp, because it's strategic, is meant to clean the ocean, and is abundant. We're supposed to have unlimited fish created for us to eat, and the kelp is our fish, but the ocean is being ruined. So we have to selectively pick the kind of fish we eat, which is sardine. And then because it's small fish, and the bigger fish, the more mercury and lead and all kinds of stuff it was in there. To make sure that you do take kelp at least 3 times a day, 1 capsule, 1, unless you have grave disease, hyperthyroidism, you need to hold off on taking kelp. You need to take other things first. Okay, Kath, please ask your question. Kathy?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Back in the fall, in the metal, I have a question. It says, I printed out the, where you had the links for the different things. I printed those out. And under that, under fall, it said connective tissue, ligaments, and tendons.
Yes.
So does that go with the large intestine foods or the lung foods?
It basically goes with all the foods under that category.
All of them. Okay. That's what I wanted to know. That's it.
Yeah, I'm about to go over that in the end.
Okay.
It's very good that you took notes of that.
All right.
It's not just the large intestine or the lung, but also bronchia and skin.
Right.
And our skin, remember we talk about the skins is so
Right.
good. So right now we have a different, you have to do a little more for the skincare. Everyone knows that I'm using Arbonne, but my skin is not peeling at all. It's looking just as good as the springtime. So the skin is in good shape, but I do know that when I don't take care of my skin, the skin is very flaky, and with the hair falling, and it just the hands a lot, especially people use the skin. Our skin actually is about the lung health. Isn't that interesting? It's the metal element. It's very interesting.
It is.
And it's very interesting. And if we don't take good care of that in the fall, we're gonna look really like homeless, because we'll be hairs pulling out and it's so tired, and also we'll have a yellow, like a little bit bags going on. And so this season of transitional is very troublesome. And with all that hand cleansers people use, especially I see my professors, oh my goodness, pound, pew, pew, and clean the table and everything. And with that amount of benzo alcohol that absorbed right into our bloodstream, that is one of the toxic elements that cause cancer. Benzo alcohol is top 3. top 3 that cause cancer per Dr. Clark. So I remember when my classmates were doing spray and clean. I says, you know that's benzoyl alcohol. And they say yes. And I said, but you know that benzene is a carcinogen. And yes, so from that point on, those people stopped doing the spray, clean. They may just use some soap and do it rather than pss in the air, because it affect me, right?
Right.
And in any case, so I have seen a remedy recently about with all the damages and with the cleansers. If you check your cleansers in the kitchen or in your hand soap or in your bathroom soap, it contains ALA. Is that ALA? Anyway, chemical engine degreaser is not real soap. And I see a lot of you are using those. And after you use it, even wash your face, it gets really dry. That's destroying the protective layer plus the microbes. We have, is that how many? 28 or different type of microbes on our skin that protects the ecosystem. When that's destroyed, the hands get really not good. So there's one remedy to restore that is to take an egg yolk, but not egg white. Egg yolk. Remember we refer eggs a few times. It's amazing. Eggs is so good. You take the egg yolk, you just stir it and with some olive oil. And I think a little bit raw honey. And you put it all over your hand, let it soak. You can do the face if you want. And then you will try to restore. It's actually feeding. You know, when we do masking stuff, this is the real thing. It's actually feeding the microbes. Guess what? The highest concentration of skin microbes, beneficial microbes, are on our heels. And some of you have really thick heels, and I have to buff my heels because I don't wear shoes sometimes outside. Some people have it so thick. That's actually the they say Achilles tendons problem. That's kidney qi deficiency. We're getting into the water element. Kidney qi deficiency will build really thick calluses on the heels, and our heel actually the skin contains the highest concentration of the beneficial microbes on our skin. To feed them is to make egg yolk with an actual virgin olive oil with a little bit raw honey, and it's just stir it and put it all over our hand and the skin is overly stressed and our heels. So this is not just so, oh, we feel good, we did a mask and then skin look a little supple. It's not that. We're actually feeding the microbes. It's great. Sounds crazy, but it is true. So let's go into the winter. We're looking at black food. That's great for the kidney qi, bone health, the ears, hearing, and the bone marrows. And these are the things actually you can see the outside of the kidney is the ears, which means that when the kidneys are not working properly, you cannot hear. And the bone and bone marrow is deep inside of us. So the kidney qi, kidneys is down there. And then the bone and bone marrow is also very deep inside of us. So it's about inside, it's in. Black sesame seeds. Well, there's one supplement some of you are on, it's called Renomay, which is kidney glandular, kelp, and black tahini. Okay, so those are great for the kidneys. So let's just do a review, because they in the pre-reading assignment, which not every one of you have read, that we can actually, I'm gonna do a stop sharing. So more questions we can, so let's just go over again. I'm going backwards from the water, winter, element, cold, salty, purplish, black foods that we're supposed to during the day, which time of the day we're supposed to the best eat these foods. Because these foods are in tonic. It help you to slow down. It help you to get into the night. So you tend to want to eat these foods later in the day. Do you get what I'm saying? Okay, let's go back again. Let's start looking at the first in the morning, spring. Spring of our 4 seasons is the first of our morning, 24 hours. For the 24 hours in the morning, that we will be eating some of the fresh vegetables. We will be able to, if you want the raw cheese, with the green cabbage. Dr. Wilson doesn't really like green cabbage, and I don't know why. But I often use my eggs with scallions, and you can have some sprouted broccolinis, all really great for the spring, which is the morning. And after morning, we go into lunchtime. Lunchtime is the time we actually do coffee enema. Coffee enema, again, is a release, right? Release. And then we do the release, which is in therapy at the most young time of the day, which is lunchtime. And at lunchtime, we tend to eat some more, maybe the food that has more energy, the heat and red, even the red beets, sometimes we do that. And spicy, a little bit spicy foods like turmeric and that kind of things. And we eat ginger. So I want to right now open the floor to ask you a question. Why do we do the yin therapy, which is release bile, such as let's say coffee enema at noon? Hello? Do you want to say anything? People are not saying much. Okay, so the reason why we do the yin therapy, which release at the hottest time of the day when the sun is most high, so we will not be depleted. So after release, you are taking in energy, and you don't want the yin energy comes inside of you, you will be even more depleted. So if you do coffee enema at night, depletion plus the environment is yin and is not good for you. When you feel so when you release, let's say, assuming right now you have to do it in the evenings, like later after this, I'm gonna do my coffee enema, it's past noon. What I could do is after coffee enema is released, you want to do a yang therapy, which is you put the infrared over. You put a red lamp over you to give you some of the yang energy. Now, do you guys understand that? You want a restoration, you want to eat something really good and to restore what you have just lost. So if right now I'm going to a infrared sauna that is heat, but it's 3 lights and 4 lights there that make me sweat a little more than just single light. Does that consider a yin therapy or yang therapy? Can anybody just type in or just unmute and tell me? When you go into an infrared sauna, but you're sweating furiously, was that yin therapy or yang therapy? Is that a release or restoration?
That is restoration.
No.
Man,
Okay, so I wanted to explain this, and most people don't teach this. When you're going into your own homemade infrared, which is a little closet, a little space, a little tent or some sort that you made, you hang about 4 lights in there and bring up the temperature rather rapidly. And then in about 10 minutes, you will start to feel sweaty. If you cannot sweat, that means you lack of iodine in your body. You have to make sure you're on the nutrition balance science or at least having kelp for about 3 months. Then you can start your infrared therapy. When you go into infrared therapy, we never want people sweating like furiously. Like sometimes the people are really proud. They say, "Oh, I'm a sweating bucket only within 5 minutes," and they're so proud to share with people and everything. But Dr. Wilson didn't really say about this, but in the Chinese medicine, what we really want people to do when they are in the infrared sauna is that you will feel the moisture on the skin, not dripping sweat. Sometimes I will have maybe they form in the cleavage or in the crevices. It will start to have a bead of sweat coming down, but you don't want to have covered with water. That make the restoration therapy, which is infrared heat therapy, it's supposed to be restoration therapy. You make it into an yin therapy because now you are releasing the toxin too much. So when you're in there, you never should do it so much that you're people even like get overheated. You never do that. You need, and when you first start in your sweat lodge, sweating therapy, you need to have a coach or somebody on the phone or something that to make sure that you are still conscious. So just go into 10 minutes a day just to start. So after in therapy, you just very tired, you just get a lot of things out of you. You wanted to eat something good, or you want to just feel warm again underneath the heat lamp, do that, but not to sweat again so much. That would be a young therapy, is to restore. Okay, so let me see. So in the morning, when you go out, I'm gonna just review once again. So the story is gonna come back. Okay, so when you're first in the morning, I know Peg, Margaret, you take a morning walk for 30 minutes. If you slice ginger very thinly, I know Holly also goes somewhere to work out in the morning. If you just cut your gingers, thin slice, 5 slices, you put under the tongue and you take that walk. It's a young element, it's a young tonic. When you walk, your body will take that ginger energy. It'll go through the entire blood flow. As you walk, you'll benefit even more. Okay. So wake up in the morning, first thing, slice the ginger and put under the tongue and go for the walk. And you can chew it, you can even eat it, or you can just spit it out. But do you do it? Do you do this ginger chewing, walking in the afternoon? No, because we're turning to the in time of the day. What you do is you will eat some daegan before bed. Like if you do daegan, is white color, the radish is white color, and then you'll make some of that soup with miso, and then you can drink that in the evening. That will help you to be less energized as we're going into the winter, which is total darkness, going to sleep. So in the morning, you have some ginger, and then you take your walk, you do your things, you go to work. At lunchtime, at 12 o'clock, when your 12 o'clock and my 12 o'clock is not the same, because we're located in different places. Even in Michigan, to find the true 12 o'clock, you have to go into a website to look at what is the true 12 o'clock for me. For us, it's about 11:32 or something. Like you have to put in your coordinates, and that would be the time that you close your eyes, you do the pulling down exercise. You sit. If you don't know what pulling down exercise is, I can teach you a different time, but I can teach you in the comments. You sit or you walk, you stand or you lay down straight. Preferably then you just sit, because it's during the day, you should sit, not really. You could lay down and close your eyes, take a quick nap for 10 minutes. That very moment of 12 o'clock, it opens the gate of your 7th chakra. 7th energy center is right here. And then it will connect it to the 8th chakra, and it will connect to the solar system. It's so amazing, that very moment. And if you can just do pulling down exercise, then you're pulling the universal astral energy right through this chakra. But I'm telling you about the 7th energy center is where the plaques meet. There is a little opening. When we were babies, this opening was soft, and eventually it became hard. And now, but the energy center is still there. So when you don't feel so good, you can't think properly, you need to press that. You can massage that. So that's basically blocked. And why the people have the crown molding on top is because anything around here is calcified. It's not being able to get toxicity out or receiving the new or healing energy. So this crown molding has everything to do with liver congestion. So in the morning, you took your walk, you have your ginger, you can even have a little ginger dandelion drink, and have some drink. We'll have the afternoon drink, but in the morning, you drink those drinks you made with those leaves that's under that categories. And it comes to lunchtime, and you do in one with nature at 12 o'clock and do meditation, is pulling down exercise, and then you do your coffee enema and you eat your lunch. Gerson therapy, which is natural cancer therapy, will have 2 enema, very quick enema, 15 minutes each or 30 minutes each. And then they have lunch, and then have 2 coffee enema later. So between 11 o'clock and 1 o'clock, that's when you do the your lunch thing, lunch and lunch walk or meditation or coffee enema and eat lunch. And then and in the afternoon, and you start winding down and to have not so bright color food that you eat. And in the evening, you can see the dark color comes in, including the black bean, natto beans. So having this said, now we're gonna say goodbye to this chart. We're gonna look at our 24 hours, which I already started talking with you about. These 24-hour chart, how you read, and most people don't know how to read. Just assuming this is a clock. Instead of 1 to 12, it's 1 to 24. It's a 24-hour clock. Let's just synchronize. Right now, the top number is a 23. Let me know if you cannot find 23 in one little circle where the 12 o'clock on your regular clock is a 23. That's 11 p.m. Do you guys see that? All right. And then to the right of that is 01. That means 1 o'clock in the morning. So I'm going to start this story at the end of the day, which is the 11 p.m. at night. And the 11 p.m. at night, our body is already getting ready to start a new day. This is something that I'm not sure you'll learn elsewhere, but this is very important. And I leave the most important thing in the end, because you need the knowledge that I have just shared with you. You need that right now. At the 23rd hour, our body will receive astral energy, which I will teach in a different class. That your gallbladder will be signaled to start spinning, the energy start to self-cleaning. This is a self-cleaning cycle per every day. At 11 p.m., if you're not laying down, gallbladder is it's not a hard organ like the liver and the heart. The gallbladder is a little bag. When you lay down, you turn down like 90 degrees down like this, down. So it's saying that I'm ready for the cleaning cycle. So the astral energy saying you're supposed right now, 11, you're supposed to be resting now. Are you resting? The gallbladder is, but you cannot fake it, because if you are still watching Netflix, the eyes are open, the liver, remember liver and the eyes is connected. Close your eyes. When you close your eyes, your liver is getting rest. This is Chinese medicine. So the gallbladder signal down, because there's a little bag, it's turning down when you lay down, that your gallbladder will start squeezing the residual the biles out. One day I'm gonna have a different class and I'll explain to you that how the energy messenger can see this. They can see the green flows out of a green color of energy flowing out of the gallbladder. And then later, within the next 2 hours, the liver will refill the gallbladder with new bile. It's fantastic. So that means before 11 p.m., we should be in pretty good rest. We should already be in dream or some sort. So don't wait until 11 and say, oh, gallbladder is calling. I'm going to lay down, close my eyes. No, you gotta go to bed a little earlier. So by then, 11 o'clock, you're ready for the cell cleanse. And that's how we start a day. Gallbladder is so important. In Chinese medicine, it's so important. It starts a daily cleaning cycle. Not just that, gallbladder, in every of these cleaning cycle that we're going through, gallbladder will start every of the segment. Even if someone else is like, sometimes, let's say the lung is doing the cleaning, but gallbladder will come in and do something to kick that cleaning cycle. A lot of people just have the gallbladder taken out like it's of no use, but it was such a big use. And in the self-cleaning, not only the beginning of the day, beginning of the 24 hours, gallbladder is the first one. At every 2-hour cycle, that is also the first one to kick in for that cycle to start. Okay, so you can read this and let's just go from 23 to 01. During this time, you just fallen asleep and the self-cleaning is happening, but you woke up. Why did you wake up? Something, ding, something's not happening. You woke up. Can someone give me a hint? Yeah. Holly, please unmute. I can unmute you. Why am I talking? I can unmute. You have to probably, okay,
I think it has something to do with your liver.
right. So between 11 to 1 o'clock, your gallbladder is squeezing to clean out the bladder, but there's so much congestion inside. If you wake up during that time, it is because the gallstones. So what about the people who don't have gallbladder? That's tough luck. That's really sad. But still, the meridian is doing its work. That means that your liver probably is not working properly. So let's go to 1 o'clock. From 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock, that gallbladder has to also signal the liver, now is your turn. And the liver then will start doing self-cleaning. And at this time, 1 a.m. to 3 a.m., if you wake up during these 2 hours, what will be the problem? Liver stones and liver flukes or liver something. Very interesting. So we know people often cough in the morning, and some people die, patients die of coughing and couldn't catch their breath early in the morning. That's between 3 a.m. to 5 a.m. I think that's the darkest hour. And I think 4 a.m. is darkest hour. Sometimes we get visits, not good visits. But let's look at the Western medicines. What does it say? 4 o'clock, lowest body temperature. But that's also the darkest hour. And between 3 and 5, coughing is the lungs doing clearing. And from 5 to 7 is when people get up to take a dump. That is the best time. If you're taking dump at different times a day, of course we take dumps 3 times a day because we're Holistic Healing Academy. We're the huge dump masters that after every meal we'll take a dump. They're supposed to be once every meal, once after every meal. It's not once every day or once every 3 days or once every 2 weeks that we're supposed to empty our bowels after each meal. So it's get ready for the next meal. But after lunch, you're not really let out the lunch. You're actually releasing the breakfast. Just like first in the morning during the 5 to 7 o'clock in the morning, your large intestine is doing massive movement. They call it this massive movement only happen about 2-3 times a day. This Western medicine says this mass movement was doing a lot of squeezing. And the first of the day is between 5 to 7 o'clock in the morning. That was the time that you emptied last night's dinner. And guess what? Let's look at 7 o'clock to 9 o'clock. It's time to eat breakfast. If you do eat breakfast between 7 and 9, the stomach meridian is in charge. It's most active. And after you eat, and then from 9 to 11 o'clock, the spleen meridian. Spleen meridian, very interesting. Spleen meridian doesn't really mean spleen organ. It includes the organ and its function plus the entire endocrine system. So you can see the stomach and spleen is right next to each other, and the stomach also next to the liver. So all these things, they help each other. After stomach eats something, then the spleen is part of the immune system, by the way, that it will be doing something that they just ate and doing something. And then transitional into 11 o'clock to 1 o'clock in the afternoon. That's the heart meridian is in charge. That is the most high fire element. Remember fire element? That's when you start to cook some coffee, prepare for a coffee enema, and then have some lunch and close your eyes, be in one with nature and get the astral energy through your crown chakra. And it does happen. And it's hard to explain, but one day you will understand when time comes. So then before 1 o'clock, you finish your fourth coffee enema. You don't have to do 4 a day. You can just do 1. And the best time to do it is during these 2 hours between 11 and 12. So it will be less depleted. You'll have released the bad chi, Qi means energy flow, and you will absorb the new qi, new energy. It's most high. The sun is most high. From 1 o'clock on, guess what's happening? After you ate the lunch, the small intestine is working. It's trying to digest and absorb. And at the end of the 2 hours, is 2 hours that it will send all the nutrition that it has absorbed to the liver and then also the parasites. Remember that. So as I'm rolling down the time, you already are equipped with the best food to eat. So during lunchtime, you make something, and in the afternoon, if you do eat something or prepare for your dinner, you will be mindful about the food that you prepare. Try not to eat something that energizes you at night and say you cannot sleep. Let's just roll back a little bit. When you look at the 11 and 13, it says heart problems, insomnia. Insomnia in Chinese medicine is fixed at lunchtime. But most people in this culture, in the Western medicine culture, they just fix it at night. They have to take a pill of some sort. They have to do some Epsom salt bath or some sort to force themselves to go to sleep. But to fix insomnia naturally is be one with nature at when the sun is most high. When you are synchronized, you're 12 o'clock with the most high at that time. That automatically signal that 12 hours later, it actually knows once you synchronize the clock at 12 o'clock at noon, your body will slow down in the evening. So we don't try to fix insomnia at night. We fix it at the sun, at the most young. Sun is most high, right in the center. That's when you fix it, because that's where you synchronize the clock. That is so amazing. One time, one of our students made tea for the husband, and he parked the car. He drove into a subdivision. He was driving to at work, and he drove into a subdivision. He parked the car. He took out some red beet juice to drink and walking around outside. And it was a lady, it was an old lady was living in this flat there. It's a cul-de-sac, and she called the police, and police came. Police says that somebody reported that you were drinking some alcoholic beverage, and it was walking around in the neighborhood up to no good, and they are concerned. And he said, "What are you doing? What are you drinking? What's in this bottle?" It says, beet juice, something like that. And then the police says, "What else do you have in the car?" And the man says, "Kidney tea." And then the police says, get out of the car, and arms up and whatever, body check. Because the police thought kidney tea is someone else's kidney and cut it up and eat and make a tea. But it's actually herbal tea, good for kidney. Anyway, after check, and the test, the measure is not alcohol. The police officer was laughing so hard and saying, there was a lady who lived right there, like where the car was parked at front of. She thought you were drinking something, and it could be a serial killer trying to assassinate her. But it was just, oh my wife, but why do you have to park? Why do you walk outside? Why do you have to walk when you do this? And our student's husband said, my wife told me 12 o'clock, I have to be one with nature. I have to go out so it can connect and have to drink my tea and then red food and juice and things. And then they were laughing so hard, and that was a story, and I hope you remember. But anyway, so that's around the clock. Small intestine is digesting the food and distribute through the help of the liver. At the end of the 3 o'clock, between 3 and 5 in the afternoon, the bladder is cleaning, and that's why it's so good. We finish our kidney tea by 3 o'clock. Does it make sense? Kidney tea, when you drink kidney tea, your mouth is so dry because kidney tea has this one element that's shared between liver tea and kidney tea. So kidney tea is supposed to be an yin tea. However, there's one herb that is good for both yin and yang. So it's kind of, it brings some fire to me. So your lips will feel dry. You'll feel thirsty after you drink kidney tea, but you need to drink the tea before 3 o'clock, just like you finish your coffee. Coffee is a fire element. people drink coffee after 3 o'clock will have problems sleeping because that's like a resynchronize. Now 3 o'clock is my 12 o'clock, so later on I cannot sleep by 3 hours later. So anyway, you don't want to do your young remedies, like a remedy eat in the fire. You want to lit up your fire at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. No, you want to cease all coffee and everything by then going to more mild remedies and things to eat. So 3 o'clock is the cutoff point. Just remember 3 o'clock cutoff point. Look at what happens 3 o'clock, between 3 and 5. The bladder, remember the bladder is down in the darkness, and the lower part of the body is trying to clean up. If you have bladder stone and all that stuff, and you just drank the kidney tea, you're supposed to work it out by 5 o'clock. And then after the bladder work cleaned out, it's very interesting when you see after bladder finished the work and kidneys start kicked in at 5 to 7. It's very interesting that you can notice that bladder is the lower part of the kidney, and the gallbladder actually just a storage for liver. But the gallbladder is like your servant. It's like the liver servant. The gallbladder has to come in to work it out, and then the liver do something. And so is this scenario. The bladder, the downstream clean up first, and then the boss comes in to clean up. Kidney now comes in to clean. Why? That's because the downstream has to be clean. The bowels, the bile, the bowels, and the urine empty. And then the upstream start to working, and so they can actually purge more. You never really fix the upstream first before you fix the downstream, because the downstream of like Yellow River has been flooded. And then you say, okay, let's go upstream and dig deeper and get blood flow, get the water flows better. That the downstream, the village are gonna flood even worse. So to fix the Yellow River, there's a Yellow River in China, it's a flood every year. So you have to go downstream to clean out the mud, dig deeper, and then gradually work upstream. This is why when your kidneys are blocked, when your gallbladder, and when your bladder has stones, if you just try to do a liver cleanse and you just make the liver send down more toxins for the kidneys to process, then your kidneys will have even more congestion. This is why we look at people's nails. If you have linseed nails, we do not suggest that you do the liver flush or anything like that, because flushing down and then make the lower part of your body even more stagnated. And then when the kidney bladder is having issues, you will have a big size, big legs. You have enema in your legs. You look twice as big. It's just water weight. That is only because you cannot let the water out. It's congested. Therefore, you don't always clean the top. You need to look on the bottom, see, can you take it? Once I clean, flushing things downstream, are you able to eliminate? So the downstream is very important to be clean first. But we don't focus on the cleansing, we actually focus on nutrition. Didn't I just go through nutrition with you guys first? You need a nutrition in order to help the cleaning to take place. Our body will never, our body will not ever let go the toxicities that occupying the receptors until the minerals, the desired mineral is available and abundant. It has to be in a set amount for our body to willing to swap out the toxicity. So nutrition always come first. So we're almost 5 o'clock. Let's keep on going just 5 more minutes. After kidney finish cleaning at 7 p.m., the pericardium meridian comes in. Pericardium meridian is the middle finger meridian I talked about earlier. So if around that time is actually the best time, if you try to go to sleep between 7 and 9 o'clock, that you do your night routine, just like the baby, night routine, turn down the light and night routine. And then by 11 o'clock, by 9 o'clock, that if you're in bed and getting ready, now triple burner meridian comes in. It's very weird. It's not organ, it's not a gland. What the 3 burners are doing, the 3 burners are 3 washing machines. and chamber, chung, 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 chung. Now is I'm going to tell you these amazing things as a closing of our lecture today. It will start, the energy will flow. It's like wash machine. Your lower part of the body was, and then in the future lecture, I will tell you, it does a 5-minute cycle, and they're doing that in the 5 minutes and 15 minutes and finished. And then the energy move to the middle and doing the squeezing in the middle about 15 minutes, and then the top. And then after these rounds, about 3 segments, 20 minutes each, about that, it's already an hour. The second hour, what it does is the large triple burner. Now the lower part of the body is not just between your hips to your pubic bone. It actually includes the entire legs, and a huge spin happening, and then the middle again, and then at the top is including the head and the head, not just the shoulder. So big spinning like a hurricanes. So the last hours of our time, like right before the gallbladder kicks in again, that our body doing this triple burner washing machine, triple cycles. So that will be the time that you actually lay down and in sleep. So I will be here. That to conclude our study today. Anybody have questions? Please ask questions. Now I'm open to answer questions for another half an hour if you guys want. Shall I actually stop the recording then, or should we let people hear our questions? Please ask questions, Iwana. Iwanta.
I sent my question. So in the cycle of the 24 hours, I was curious, what do I need to fix on what time to not feel tired after 2:30 p.m. all the way to 5 p.m.?
So what do you want to fix?
I don't want to feel lethargic and tired after that time every day.
You don't feel tired when you should be feeling tired.
I don't feel tired.
No, what did you say? What was your question?
So every day after around 2:30 p.m., I start feeling really tired and lethargic. And that goes like until 5 p.m. almost.
Okay, so let's look at the chart. So around 2 and 2:30, a lot of people are taking a break because they're just not around that time. Our body, the blood doesn't have enough nutrition. A lot of people need to go have a coffee hours at 3 o'clock, but that's the wrong thing to do. The body then is actually going to the liver to get the blood storage, the nutrition. Say, please refill the nutrition in my blood. This tells me that you're not, let's say did you say 2:30?
Around 2:30. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, around 2:30, you can see small intestine. Your digestion is not good.
Mm-hmm.
Your digestion is not good. Could be multiple reasons. We look at the poop and we study our poops, the color, the texture, the size, the formation, and all these things that we're looking and to tell if we do not have enough bile salt. Do we have enough bile? If you don't have enough bile to break down food in the small intestine, that is the time that you are not able to get energy, and it's working so hard. The small intestine is working so hard, but doesn't create energy.
Mm-hmm.
Then you need to look at the poop study to find out, do you have enough bile flow? If you don't, GB3, you need GB3 until you do a few more liver flush and stuff, and you will feel so good. My classmates are drinking tea and things, all kind of stuff they're drinking, but I don't. Even Arbang ladies are doing the whatever they were doing, fish sticks and stuff. I don't do any of those. I'm fine. But I've done 28, maybe liver flush, 28 about liver flushes.
Yeah.
11 is almost there, but not really. So I have to keep on working. And I do have spots on my face. I used to have so many spots. Now I have only 5% left. I used to have 100% spots because I did the laser, ting, 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 ting. So after you did the laser, try to remove the spots. Now you generate more, like react to the sunlight. I got pigmentation problem. So I I was trying to do the laser, the just get rid of the spots, and I created more spots. So now naturally I reduced 95% of my spots. Anyway, any more question? Coffee and
Yes.
sauna, could you do it at the same time? Very good question. One is in therapy and one is restoration. Just remember, you are just having mild heat and your skin feel a little warm, and that's fine. You can do it at the same time. Dr. Wilson does it at the same time. This is the same idea. Why do you do coffee enema at noon? You don't have to do it outside, which I want to.
I could see you doing that.
Oh.
For the neighbors, raccoons, they were looking. So I want to, but UPS is the problem, or Amazon Prime.
That was my question about the coffee enemas. I've been doing them early just because of my work schedule and things like that. Is that really going to mess me up? I usually do them between 9 and 10.
That's fine.
Okay.
Because
do both-
9 and 10 is still the young part of the day.
Okay.
Ideally noon, but ideal is not ideal. There's no ideal in the world today. Just do it. Like Nike said, just do it. And I can tell you, I hope Tammy doesn't mind when I stay with her. And when we were in Vegas and we share a suite together, she in the middle of the night, she was doing coffee. I was already deep sleep, but I saw she was brewing coffee. I said, what are you doing? Oh, I still have to do it. And she was doing instant coffee. She's Shui. I know what you're gonna say. I know. But this is only for traveling. I'm doing instant coffee. Otherwise, I'll brew it. I'm like, okay, I didn't get to say anything. She already, and I said, but what are you doing? Why are you making water? What are you doing? I was doing night routine. She was doing instant coffee. And then explain, and then said, I have to do it later. No time during the day. Okay. Well, guess what? When people do that at night, in the morning, they have to drink extra fistics. They do 3 in the cups because they just so depleted the night before. They didn't sleep early. But anyway, I'm not complaining. I'm just saying, this is part of my teaching.
Thank you.
Should we, so we should do coffee enemas through the fall and winter season?
Coffee enema is very mild. I can tell you, I mean, its maintenance is good. I can tell you, we have a few people have cancers in the academy, and they have done the cancer therapy, even not the complete cancer therapy, but some haven't done the prostate removal, but some already did the breast removal and lymph nodes removal. But all these people follow the Western medicine and the tradition and the holistic medicine for years with very expensive therapy they did. And once I did a hair test on them, I said the liver kidneys are in really bad shape. They said they know because the doctor says the liver enzyme is so high. I said, what did they do about it? They basically just say, oh, more chelation, more something, and then eventually ruin everything. So they were excused as patients. And when they came to me, I says, okay, you need to do the 3-day rather than 1 week preparation. You do there is an emergency, not emergency, but the quick liver prep. They have to drink so much tonic to get them ready for the flush. On the 3rd day, they did a flush. Oh my goodness. Their output is like lentil soup. It's all oily balls. Talking about after 3-4 years of functional medicine, cancer therapy, they've been doing 3 years of coffee enemas, but they didn't do liver flush. They didn't move stones. They just squeezed the bile through the stones. But finally did the liver flush for the first time. The whole thing looked like lentil soup with huge balls. So I tell you, sometimes I think coffee enema is only good. I mean, if you haven't even for 50 years, if people for 40 years haven't even cleaned their liver once, just do it once. You need to do 2 times, at least the first 2. Open the doors for the toxin to pass, for the liquid to pass. Just open the doors to get the blockage out. Just like I always think about Indiana Jones with the big balls rolling and then chasing after. You gotta get those balls out. Yeah.
Okay, so then we should also do the kidney tea drinks and the liver cleanse drinks throughout the fall and winter as well.
So there is only one drink a day is allowed. If you choose that day to be your coffee, then that's it. If you people say you can have 2 coffees if you want. I think sometimes Dr. Wilson say these things not to make people pissed off, because he wanted people had their pleasure. So 1 cup or 2, he'll say that. But for me, I say make that coffee your coffee enema. Just remember, for every time you drink that cup of coffee, you have to do so many more enemas to overcome, to offset the damage. And then you may be thinking, but this is my advice. If you only allow 1 coffee or 1 caffeinated tea a day, which is the first thing in the morning, make that tea the healing tea. And then you can make the tea so dense. The kidney tea, the other day I was just having celery leaves. Celery leaves is really is part of the kidney cleanse. And farmers market has really dark color celery, and I saved those for the leaves and for the tea. I just so happened to make some tea that evening. I drank watching a movie with my friend, and I couldn't sleep that night because it's part of the kidney tea, and it was so energizing. I couldn't believe I have class. I have to get up at 6 in the morning, 2 o'clock. It was still up. So I'm just telling you that make that tea the tea first in the morning and make it really dense. After that tea, if you feel you still need coffee, go ahead, drink a cup of coffee. But just remember, you make enough for coffee enema later, because for every sin, there's redemption. So redemption is 10 times as much. Just go ahead. What else? Just drink the tea, but kidney teas, liver tea, they all have some time limit. You cannot keep drinking. You have to allow your body to work. Question.
What about wheatgrass? Should we be stopping wheatgrass, taking wheatgrass?
No, wheatgrass is a tonic, and we do twice a week. Or you can drink carrot juice every day. Carrot juice is fire element. And however, if it's too sweet for people who have insulin resistance, wheatgrass will be a good choice. It's not as sweet.
Can I ask something, please?
Please, what's your name? Actually, I don't know you.
You know me, it's Ariela.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I saw the number. Go ahead.
Yeah. How all this information is connected to the personal situation, like the definition, if my tendency is more yin or more yang.
Very good. What you were asking me about your personal metabolism rate is that fast
Yes.
oxidizers, mixed oxidizers, or slow oxidizers. Slow oxidizers are in. Fast oxidizers are yang. We're supposed to be yin-yang balanced, which means when you get up in the morning, you're a little faster because you got to get things started. But as time goes on during the day, maybe I know you're mixed in between the two. And then as you're gradually going to the afternoon and evening, you become more in because you're about to lay down to be one with night. So we are mixed oxidizers. That's the best oxidation. But most people, they are toxic, including myself. So I have huge moons. I don't have to drink. I don't have to take so much iodine. And you can see I take 10. I could be in the sun for hours. I don't burn. With iodine, it will balance my yin and yang. Without iodine, there's no balancing. So to get yin yang balance, to get your oxidation rate perfect, we need to have iodine in place, which is kelp. Take an Endomat Lab kelp, 111, unless your doctor says you cannot take kelp because it contains full spectrum. So you have iodine, selenium. Selenium will activate iodine. Without selenium, you cannot activate iodine. So selenium, iodine, calcium, magnesium. Our body needs the calcium, magnesium to bring the iodine into the cell. Also, all the other vitamin Bs, between the B3s, it will help. They're called, what's that called? It's almost like a catalyst to make it happen. But all are in one. So the iodine group will say, take iodine, you have to take all the cofactors, you have to do this cell loading and blah, blah, blah. But listen to me. When you take kelp, you can start today. You don't need preloading on just cofactors because it's all in one. That's how the nature intend to be, in whole foods.
Okay. So first we are balanced ourselves, and then we go with this all
Okay,
information that you.
I see what you're asking. Okay, I go back to your question. First, we're
Okay.
in a different place. We're all in a different place. You could be hyperthyroidism. I could be hypo. I could be mixed, and you could be something. Some of you are 4 low. That means malnutrition. You just take that information now,
Yeah.
pick some food that you like. Okay, start eat those. And then if you look at your fingernails, you know you don't have fingernail wounds. You know you are slow oxidizers. And then
Yeah.
you need some, if you without coffee, you cannot be awake, that kind of stuff, that kind of situation. Those are your crutches. You are someone with crutches and barely could make it to work or just stay alive. You definitely need to gradually move your food choices towards more fire. Okay,
Okay.
but right now you feel the most comfortable. If you look at these food charts, you find yourself eating the squash, cucumbers, and melons and things, and watermelon. You realize you are what you eat. You are at the in part because you've been eating the in. So you want gradually within the same category, there's this food that's stronger, you know,
Okay.
and then you gradually move. Your body will follow your nutrition, and you must increase your digestion. Otherwise, you cannot abstract your nutrition from the food. You are not what we eat, actually. We are what we can absorb.
Okay.
So
Thank
thank
you.
you for the good question. How do we
Thank
actually
you.
transform? Yeah, it's gradually locate yourself, know where you are. When I test people, I know exactly where you are, but you should have a feeling where you are. If you're always like, some people are like really angry all the time, and they say a lot of things. They are very rude, but they're just being direct. They don't know they're rude. Those people are more young. They're fast oxidizers. They could be just thiamine, vitamin B1 deficiency. They always drive so fast, or they curse when they're driving. Maybe those people, you don't know. They are actually toxin stimulated fast oxidizers. Those people actually need to do in therapy, release some of their toxins. They need to release because they are too high up there. They're on fire. Yeah, that's bad fire, because none of you right now, if you can Zoom with me, you're adults. You right now, no one should be in oxidizers unless you're toxic. We're supposed to be mixed oxidizer on the slow side.
Okay.
Anybody? Last question?
One last
Yeah.
question.
Jennifer, go ahead.
So in terms of the sorry, I'm just getting to a birthday party and got a little distraction. But in terms of the time of the day, you eat the fire, the wood, and the earth elements throughout the day according to the time of the day, or does that just relate seasonally?
What you do is you cannot always follow this, because you can mix a little bit. Just remember that do not eat the fire food in the evenings, and do not eat the black food like things in the morning. You cannot have a good morning. I mean, when you're already tired, you may need the in tonic so you can go to sleep. And some people, like when they're tired, they really don't have the luxury to go to sleep. Then they want the fire element. They are drinking some coffee or something, stimulants. Just remember there's payback. When we're tired, we have a choice. You can choose the food that make you fall asleep or rest. More breakdown. But if you still try to take a stimulant that make you feel more energized, so you take care of the kids and get work done, just remember you later have to pay back. You have to do more rest, because you're just eating yourself. You're borrowing your future energy for the current use. That's like having a big mortgage and you don't own your house, and the bank's gonna come and take your house at any time if you don't pay. So just remember, being one with nature and also work things out within your schedule. If you're not able to go along with the time right now, perfect food and everything. But you can see when people lay the nuts out in the yard and to test the squirrels, 7 different nuts, and the squirrel almost always pick walnuts first. And you can see walnuts, I think it's just 4 elements, equals 4 elements. So if you, I carry a little walnuts with me, so if you have a little walnuts for brain food, and onions, if you don't have time, make sure you always have onions, because I think onions across, is that 5 elements? Maybe 4 of the 5 elements. So it's a food that will be very balanced on its own. Everything has its own yin and yang. Ginger is fire element, but ginger, the peel of the ginger is yin. So if you truly wanted to have the ginger slices for the morning, you peel the peel, you only eat the inside. Aloe vera, that plant is super in, and just like a cactus, it's very in. However, the skin is so rough, the needle is so sharp. Those are very young. It's very prick is like offensive. That's very young. But the inside, the water elements inside of those desert animals are very in. So everything has yin and yang. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay, that will be it. So I'll stop the recording. I will make the recording available. And you guys and other people who didn't get to come today, or they at the pay member or pay student section, there will be a recording available for 2 weeks. If you want to review this, and you could, and you can fix up your notes, and you can continue asking questions, and I'll get a chance to look at the event site for the next 2 weeks, and I will be able to answer your questions. And I hope also write your feedback and let me know how things go. I supposed to ask you a question and give some answers. So how about this? I'm gonna post that question in the group in the event, and you will use a personal message with the answer. And the one has really good answers, I'll give free pass for the next event. Okay, I'll talk to you later. Okay, thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you. Thank you. Bye.
Bye. See you in the event and questions and stuff. Okay.
Yeah, bye.
Bye.
Bye.